Boom.
Hey, my name's Komyar, and I topped with Gimmick puppets. Not a lot of people were happy about that. So if you were my opponent, I apologize. So let's get the list started.
What place did you get?
Oh yeah, I got 14th.
Okay.
This is the highest I've ever placed. I'm super happy, and it's the second time I've placed here, second time I've placed ever. So I'm glad I got my invite, and it's very interesting after the ban list. I'll talk about that at the end, but yeah, let's get the profile started.
And one last thing?
Sure.
Any shout-outs, my guy?
Yes, shout out to Zeke's, shout out to Lyle, who's filming this right now, shout out to Austin, Bear, Austin Lee, Craig, shout out to all the guys at the locals, Peter, Paul, Matt, oh my God, so many people. There's a lot of people.
All right, let's go ahead and dive into this list.
Okay, so starting off, Three Little Soldiers. This card is amazing. It's the starter. Everybody knows what it does. The amazing thing with this is that it sends for cost. Because it sends for cost, there's a lot of shenanigans where basically, you know, under certain circumstances, basically your opponent doesn't have a lot to answer to this. And again, because it sends for cost, you can send all the important guys, specifically Rouge Doll. Rouge Doll is usually going to be your send. That's what I consistently sent at this time. And then that add back to hand, it's basically the circular for the deck. It's really crazy. These ratios are kind of non-negotiable. Like, these cards are super important. Then we got 2 of Terror Baby. Terror Baby's integral to the FTK. You want 1 engrave to make it so your Gimmick puppets cannot be interacted with. You can't respond to their effects. And its normal summons a Gimmick puppet from the grave, and I'll show you the targets for that later. We got the 1-ofs. We got Bisque, we got Cattle Scream, and we got Dreary. I did not play Dreary in my previous lists, and I also messed up at the last regional where I took this out siding, and it was a really bad idea. This is a really nice extender, especially if Cattle Scream gets banished. And obviously, Bisque along with Terror Baby basically makes it so your opponent cannot interact with your Gimmick puppets at all. It's fantastic. Wouldn't change these up. We got 3 Condolence Puppet. It's a +1, +2, +5 Foolish Burial. If my opponent has 3 extra deck monsters, I send 4. It absolutely nuts. This came up really this came up clutch for me, and especially the effect where you can prevent your Gimmick puppets that are XYZs from being destroyed by card effect was really important in cases where I couldn't extend further. And then also, Foolish Burial basically does the same exact thing, so I would count that along with these. Then you got the Field Spell. What can I say? This thing is broken. I'm surprised they didn't hit it, but I actually did not get an opportunity to play this for more than half of my games. So I got in a position where I was able to FTK without this occasionally, but with this, basically, it's over. If I get this and I get Terror Baby in the grave, or I get Bisque Doll in the grave, then basically scoop. In fact, my last opponent, I played this and he said, okay, next game. Beat him in 5 minutes. Crazy. There's your Searcher, Terraforming. Self-explanatory. The 2 rank ups, and I'll explain how they're searched. We got Argent Chaos Force and Numeron Force. So most lists you'll see them playing 2 of this. This card is insane. It basically reads, if this resolves, everything on the field is negated permanently. This won me several matchups where they had Apo, they had Desiree, they had Flamberge, they had IP, things of that nature. This card is crazy good. I would recommend playing this. And if you're thinking, oh, what if a scenario where you accidentally draw this or that? I drew this probably in half my games, or started with it in half my games. And that's what made it perfect, because I searched this. If I get drolled, then I have that 1 extra rank up, and I have a way to blank my opponent. So, great. The last Gimmick Puppet card is Service Puppet Play. This gets searched by the CXYZ. It's basically on field, it's a snatch steal, and while it's in a graveyard, it's a summon a Gimmick Puppet monster to either your field or your opponent's field. This got me in situations where basically they broke my board, but I was able to get CXYZ, and if they summoned anything that was too big, I would win by burning them. From there, let's go to the additional engine. We got the Horus package. Imseti kind of speaks for itself. I play one Happy and King Sark. I only resolved Imseti once to actually add, or actually no, I resolved it twice to add and draw. And Horus in this deck is insane because there are scenarios where if you start with King Sark or you are able to get in a position where they don't feel like ashing you and you get cards on the field, then you can actually play through cards like Mulcharmy. So I can basically play an entire turn without normal summoning at all, and I can still FTK as long as I have an extender in hand, like any other Gimmick Puppet that I can either normal or like summon from my hand. It's Gucci. And then I obviously also play that with the Wall of the Imperial Tomb. I'm going to explain that this works really well in this deck with another card later, but here's some non-engine, Crossout Designator, and Called By. This did a lot of work for me. I actually never had a chance to activate this because basically once I got into a position where I started going off, they can't interact with me. So the only card that I can really worry about is like Imperm, and obviously this does nothing. And the targets, 1 Ash, 1 Droll, 1 Nib. I drew these cards so many times, but it was in like winning positions, so it wasn't a huge deal. And I did draw Nib once, and I think I resolved it once, or at least I attempted to. But yeah, nothing to change here. Basically the most common targets I have to worry about. Set rotation, that's for Imperial Wall and Dreary. It insulates me against Imperm. This is just an insane card. Just a great way to kind of play through scenarios where your opponent might, I don't know, like Snake Eyes with their field spell, Tempai, etc. More non-engine, you play 3 Forbidden. Cracked, this sending Bisque or this sending Terror Baby, it's just over. It's Jover. And I did that so many times. I had a scenario where I had evenly. I went evenly, and then they chained Desiree, and I chained Dropwhip and blanked their entire board. They had to leave an Apo on field. It's absolutely great. And then 2 Imperm. This keeps it at 41, and the reason why 2 Imperm is because I want 1 for a crossout target and just even the chance of seeing it, because it's still a great card. But I don't want to see too many of it. I want to see more of my engine. Yeah, that's the main deck.
Let's go into that extra deck.
Let's go into the extra. So extra deck. This was probably, funny enough, this might seem like it, but this was the most important card for me today, because this won me an entire match against Sword Soul, where I summoned Terror Baby off of my second normal. I grabbed the little soldiers. I made this. I stole a Moye and a Gen X, the Gen X Synchro monster that negates based off of the material in the grave. And then I activated its effect. It tributes itself. They're both 8s. And then I just Gimmick Puppet comboed from there because I had Machinex and that. Insane. Otherwise, you never want to summon this. You always want it to be your target for Rouge Doll. That way it can summon out little soldiers. We played 2 Giant Grinder. I actually didn't get much opportunity to kind of do the FTKs that involve this or the OTKs that involve this, but it was a good way to kind of like bait out certain interactions, especially if you have the rank ups in your hand already. You can just go into its bigger counterpart, C15, and C15 is both a Spell Trap and Monster Pop. I used it once for a Spell Trap pop to kind of clear up the field for more plays. The most important card in this deck is Fantasix Machinics, which is your searcher for your rank ups. Oh man.
The Shadow Realm is here.
Oh Jesus. Okay, we gotta make this quick. So this card searches and then it gives you an extra normal. Integral to the combo. If you get in a position where they droll you here, it sucks, but you're fine. You might not be able to do the regular strings FTK because obviously you can't draw, But generally speaking, it didn't really affect me. 2 strings, well,
Oof.
that's gone. So that sucks that it's gone, but this, it's integral to the FTK. It did work for me. It's a nice big body. When you when you summon it to your opponent's field using the field spell, then there you go. It's a free, nice. It's either a pop from Machinex or a free pop from Giant Grinder. Speaking of which, the main rank up to get you the trap card, that's going to be Fanatics. This card's insane. This card single-handedly got my opponents in positions where basically I kept it on the field and they literally could not play the game because all I had to do was wait for them to get to an integral point in their combo to where they can't afford for their card to get popped, and I popped it. Great, and it burns. It's awesome. And then, whoops, he's gone too. Dark Strings. Dark Strings, I mean, again, this card is cracked. It's not once per turn. Pops, draws you a card, burns your opponent. Like, it's insane. Basically the extender of the FTK, once you summon it, you're locked into Exceeds monsters, specifically Gimmick puppets, and essentially, if you have Terror Baby in hand or you have a level 8 extender, you can basically add to your hand, special summon, and then summon out Terror Baby, and then there you go. You start your plays all over again. And the last one, I didn't summon him once. I might change him up, but Sanafon, this is a good option if you are on the Horus stuff and say you get drolled, then you go Imseti, Happy, summon this, and then basically this beats probably almost all of the top decks, U-Bell and Fiendsmith Snake Eye, because it prevents them from special summoning from the graveyard and it can't be destroyed by card effects. That's the extra deck. Rest in peace. Then my side. 3 Mulcharmy. This won me my last game. Insane. I drew into a Mulcharmy, and then the next draw was Condolence Puppet. I even lead them, and then I would have impermed their Inspector Border. It was Runic Stun, and then I would have had full combo from there because I would have added Bloody.
Yeah, there's some really cool upside down Mulcharmies.
Oh, Jesus, you are correct. I'm sorry. There you go. So got the Mulcharmies there. We got 2 Spooky Dogwood. I ran 2 because I actually, same logic for Imperm. I wanted a target for Crossout Designator, and I wanted the chance to even draw it. Because regardless, it's not really a dead draw in this deck, because if they commit, especially if they have to attack over my big bodies, then they're not going to beat me. And 1 Shifter. I did not side this card in once because I did not play a single Shifter deck, which is insane in this format. Didn't play any Ritual Beasts. I didn't play any Tempai. I didn't play anything that would have played that. So I would still keep it because it's this deck folds to that. I can end on a suboptimal board, but I basically lose everything. Then we got 2 Lightning Storm and 3 Evenly. Again, kind of self-explanatory. This won me a game where I forced the Desiree negate and then I evenly this board. Sorry, Craig. Insane. And then evenly, again, it's evenly's evenly. It sucks because I lose my main phase 1, so then I can't use Giant Grinder to pop like normal, and that did come up. But thankfully, I was able to kind of build more advantage to not worry about that. Then Dimensional Barrier, one of, again, also a crossout target. This isn't a scenario where I'm going second and I want to bank on drawing the crossout. And it actually did come up once where my opponent had 2 of these set. And he activates it, I cross out, and then he attempts to activate another. Hey, wait a second, it's once per turn, buddy. So that won me that game. And of course, last, oh no, they're gone too. Skill Drain. This is crazy because the combo is, and again, this version of this deck, the reason why this works so well in it is because you have this, you search out the Numeron Force, and you rank up. Guess what? I am now Snake Eyes. I have turned off my own skill drain, and then I can proceed to Unga Bunga beat down and FTK my opponent. Now, the key thing to keep in mind is you can only summon Dark Strings or C15 because this says number C monsters specifically, so you can't summon CXYZ. But regardless, this card, I'm never taking it out of this deck if I continue to play it. This was the big guy for me here. This won me unwinnable games, and this won me a match against Salad, which I can't believe I played Salad today. Speaking of which, I played Salad, I played Runic Stun, I played 2 Fiendsmith Snake Eyes, lost to both of them. Thankfully, those were my only losses. I played against, like, honestly, the other decks are kind of a blur because I FTK'd them, so I didn't really see what they were doing, and I let them do other stuff. But I think I played a lot of Fiendsmith Snake. I don't think I played a single U-Bell.
Fair.
Yeah.
All right, and your record was?
My record was 7-2.
Yes, sir.
Again, I got 14th. I'm super happy. Thanks again for checking out my profile, and I will see you at the next event.
All right, peace.